This is Real Deal Sports Talk with me, KP. It is March 29th, 2018.
D-Town, can you vibe to this? A D-Town getting down to this. Can you get down to this? The party's rocking and the crowd was lit. The beats knocking in the sound system. And D-Town's in here. We hit the lick to get some crown to sip. The pip is hitting like a pound of bricks. Took a powerful rip. It felt like a time traveler trip. My mind drifting to the cloudy abyss. Took my chalice and sip. Chicks admire how I'm styling my fit. I acknowledge with the smile of a prince. Can tell I'm piling my chips. The party's rocking, everybody was bent. Nobody wildin', ain't no violence to hit. We all lounging for real. The smooth sounds got us vibing and shit. And D-Town steady riding to this. Can you get down to this? The party's rocking and the crowd is lit. The beats knocking in the sound system. And D-Town's in here. We hit the lick to get some crown to sip. The pip is hitting like a pound of bricks. Can you get down to this? The party's rocking and the crowd is lit. The beats knocking in the sound system. And D-Town's in here. We hit the lick to get some crown to sip. The pip is hitting like a pound of bricks. Can you get down to
living
this?
life to the fullest, it's an everyday philosophy. Walk up in the spot and get the party popping properly. Ain't no beef now, we just chilling inside. All the energy is positive, we feeling that vibe. Politicking with my people, we get the reminiscing how we flip the whole script. Now we in better position, still be on a mission, turning dreams to fruition. Getting street knowledge, no fees, intuition. Think about the future, how we need to teach children. Already reached thousands, we about to reach millions. Break the glass ceiling, how your ass feeling? Like a superhero on these comic book villains in the Mile High City. You know we stay blazing. I'm high off this life though, the feeling is amazing. Never had nothing, now every day I celebrated. Glasses elevated tonight.
Can we get down to this? The party's rocking and the crowd is lit. The beats knocking in the sound system. And D-Town's in here. We hit the lick to get some crown to sip. The pip is hitting like a pound of bricks. Can you get down to this? The party's rocking and the crowd is lit. The beats knocking in the sound system. And D-Town's in here. We hit the lick to get some crown to sip. The pip is hitting like
And with that, welcome in. This is Real Deal Sports Talk. I am KP. Thank you for being here. It's a great day. I hope where you are, you were able to accomplish everything you had going on today. If you had work today, I hope you went out there and you killed it. If you had the day off, I hope you went out there and enjoyed it. The weather's different wherever you are across the country. We got pretty good weather here today in Denver, Colorado, where I am located. So again, thanks for tuning in. This is Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. The track you just heard was the Barbarians. Can you get down to this? They are the exclusive music here on the show, Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. Today on the show, we will be talking about opening day. We talked about this a little bit on Monday's show. We'll talk about the women and men's Final Four that is coming up starting tomorrow for the women's side. And we'll get into the Basketball Hall of Fame nominees that were dropped today. So some people found out, that their lifelong work has come to fruition and they will be in the Hall of Fame today. There are quite a few nominees this year. As I went through it and looked back at it, I was kind of surprised at how many nominees there actually still were at this point in the process. Some people have found out. Some names, I guess, still haven't been announced, and we could hear those coming up. But we will start off with opening day. Opening day of Major League Baseball. Opening day of what is called and has the title of America's Game. Opening day of many families' spring breaks. They're out at the ballpark today getting a hot dog, having some popcorn and Cracker Jacks, drinking those barley pops and sodas, and taking in some good baseball all around the country. As we talked about this weekend, and really I think today, almost just about every team is going to play today and or this weekend for opening weekend. Not necessarily all home games, but every team is involved in something going on. And what is opening day? Opening day starts one of the longest treks, the longest trek in professional sports in this country. 162 games that takes us from the end of March, beginning of April, all the way to the end of October, beginning of November, depending on how the playoffs play out and how long the series goes and all those kind of things. The longest season, the most games, the most time to pick the sport apart. It's the beginning of the summer almost. Yes, it's still spring. No, summer doesn't officially start until June, but it almost feels like it's that time. the beginning of the season is very exciting. It's a great time for many fans to get out there, take in some sun, put on the sunscreen for the first time. And for the most part, you see a lot of people taking in these games, and they're just sitting there, they're talking, they're enjoying themselves. Some of them are diehard fans that are taking in the game religiously each year. They've got their scorecard out, they're marking it up. And it's just great. Baseball is one of those sports that it's better to be there in person than to ever watch any game on TV. There's something about it. The feeling you get being in the stadium and being able to hear the crack of the bat different, to see the guys running, to try and see how the ball is going to play off the wall, and all these things you can do watching a baseball game while you're in the stadium, that while you're watching it on TV, you're just kind of reacting and seeing what's going on. And that starts, it starts today. Being able to get out. I know I'm going to take in a handful of games. I'm not going to take in a lot of games this year. I never really do. But I'll take in a handful of games with a couple friends of mine. My family and my family's friends will go out, and our kids will come out, and we'll all go out to a game or two this year as well. And it's just a fun time. It doesn't feel as serious or as crazy, as rowdy as going to a football or hockey or basketball games. It's a little more laid back. It's more of a family atmosphere. So they get to keep that title of America's game. We all know they're not. We all know that's currently the NFL and football. But baseball can have it for now. Today is their day. It's opening day. And there's games already in action. There's games already that have finished. There's games tonight. Quick reminder, the 4 teams that I said I'm going to be paying attention to throughout the season and that I called interesting stories pre-season, pre-start of opening day, were the Yankees, the Angels, the Rockies, and the Cubs. I think the Yankees are currently playing. The Rockies play later. The Cubs, I believe, won. And I'm not sure about the Angels, but we'll get to that here in a minute as we go through the games that are currently being played. I picked these teams specifically because the Yankees, obviously, in the East, they have the Red Sox, they have Toronto, they have the Rays, but the Rays really aren't looking strong this year. And they bring Stanton in to be with Judge. They bring in Aaron Boone to be the manager. How is that going to work out? What kind of power are we going to see out of that team this year? They still have Sanchez at catcher, he's got a nice pop in his bat as well. So a lot of strikeouts, a lot of home runs. It's going to be a fun team to watch. A lot of people are calling for them to win the World Series and or just go to the World Series. The Angels with their big free agent pickup, Mike Trout, kind of a weak division for them this year with Texas and Seattle. The Rockies, 87 wins last year. What are they going to do this year? They improved on the back end in that bullpen. Interesting storyline. I think they can really compete with the Dodgers this year. Like I said the other day, if it wasn't for that magical 50-game run the Dodgers went on last year, it would have been a very close race at the end of the regular season for that division, which potentially could have changed the way the playoffs played out. So I have it a 1-2 team race in the NL West with the Rockies and the Dodgers this season. And then the Cubs, they're coming back now 2 years removed from the World Series. Last year clearly still had the talent, but a little bit of a World Series hangover it seemed like for the Cubs last year. How do they respond this season? Can they recapture the NL Central? So those are my four teams to watch for the season that I will be talking about throughout the season. Let's go ahead and check in with the games that are currently going in the middle of the seventh inning stretch up in Baltimore. The Orioles taking on the Twins. It is a tie game at 0. In the top of the 5th, the Rangers hosting the Astros are down 3-0. The Yankees are up 2-0 on the Blue Jays up in Toronto at the end of the 3rd. At the top of the 4th, Boston is up 3-0 on Tampa Bay. The Angels, here's the second AL team I have as a watch team. Top of the 3rd, they are up on the A's 2-0. Top of 4, the Phillies are up on the Braves 1-0. Top four in San Diego as the Brewers are up 1-0 on the Padres. Top of the third in Kansas City as the Royals are up 4-0 on the White Sox. Games that have already finished today, the Cubs beat the Marlins down in Miami 8-4. The Mets got over on the Cardinals today, 9-4 in New York. Games later tonight, you have the Dodgers taking on the Giants at home. The Mariners taking on the Indians at home. The Diamondbacks will be taking on the Rockies at home. Tigers taking on the Pirates at home. And the Reds taking on the Nationals at home. And that'll round out today's action. So if you didn't hear your team's name there, that means they're probably starting their season off tomorrow. So go out, get your tickets, get your popcorn, get your Cracker Jack. Enjoy your first game because you probably won't pay attention like I do to every game. I just can't. 162 games, it's too many games. I said it, I'll continue to say it. I'd be fine if they dropped it all the way to 100 games. Even 100. Why not? But we'll talk about it throughout the summer. We'll talk about it on the show when something major happens or something really cool happens. And, of course, we'll talk about it much more as the races, the playoff races and wild card races heat up in August and September and through October. All right, next on the show, we got the Final Fours getting ready to start for both the men and the women. We're going to go ahead and hit the women first because their tournament, actually their Final Four kicks off tomorrow, where the men, they won't kick off until Saturday. Women's Final Four, you have UConn facing Notre Dame and Mississippi State facing Louisville. Now, that is all four number one seeds that made it through to the Final Four on the women's side. Generally how you would like to see things happen, especially if you're on the seeding committee. You pick these teams as the number one, they should play like the number one, and more often than not, you should see these teams make it to the Final Four to face each other. Now, UConn, Notre Dame. We talked about this a little bit on Real Take Tuesday because so many people right now are complaining about UConn and how good they are and how dominant they've been and how bad that is for the women's game. I say the exact opposite. I say it's good for the women's game. It has inspired a lot of young women to either become good players so they can go to UConn or become good players so they could, in the past, play for a Pat Summitt at Tennessee and beat UConn, or go to a Notre Dame and end their UConn's 90-plus game win streak, or go to a Mississippi State and end UConn's 100-plus game win streak. Now, Louisville's an interesting one. They have yet to beat UConn in a long win streak, or, I didn't look up the stats, so I couldn't tell you if they have any major wins recently over the program, but I'm sure at some point throughout the history of these two programs, they've faced each other, and Louisville has probably gotten a win at some point. Now, UConn facing Notre Dame. Dominant UConn, okay? UConn, who did they go through to get to where they are? They beat St. Francis. They beat Quinnipiac. They beat Duke. They beat South Carolina. And, they're beating people pretty bad right now. They beat South Carolina by almost 30. They beat Duke by 13. They beat Quinnipiac by 25. They beat St. Francis, we don't want to go there, by almost 90 points. Dominant. But this Notre Dame program does not fear UConn. They have ended their streak before. They have gone up against Goliath and knocked him down. Her down. This is going to be a good game. I talked about this in the blog. This is something you want to see. You want to see these teams come up against this dominant team and go, okay, I am not going to back down. I'm going to give you everything I got, and I'm going to knock you off your seat. That's what's going to make this a good game. Not the fact that UConn is coming in on a roll, not the fact that they're destroying people, not the fact that they hit 90% from threes in the first half the other day. None of that. What it is that fans know Notre Dame has done it before. They've been there. They've done it. Now, it's not the same players, same program, same belief, same knowledge. Now, I expect UConn to beat Notre Dame. All that being said, UConn has the 11 national titles, all-time record. Notre Dame has 1 national title. It's a David and Goliath, but I expect in this case this year, I expect the Goliath to come out on top. On the other side, Mississippi State and Louisville. Neither one of these teams has ever won a national title. Now, Mississippi State also does not have that fear of this UConn program. They have beat them. They have been there. They have done that with this same team last year. These girls are not afraid of UConn. They're not going to step on that floor, and the moment's going to be too big for them if they get there to face them in the national title. Mississippi State's best finish was last year. They're one runner-up. They've been runner-up one time in the national championship game. Louisville's been runner-up twice in the national championship game. It's going to be a big feat in my mind for them to get over on Mississippi State. I think this is a team for the last few years that has been hungry. They've been getting better. Last year they got over the hurdle of UConn. It wasn't for the national title. Had a little bit of a letdown in the national title game, but still were very competitive. They've made it back to the Final Four this year. That chip, that knowledge is on their shoulder from last year, and they want nothing more than to face UConn again in the national title game. So tell me why UConn's bad for the women's game? Because this is setting up for a Final Four and a national title on the women's side that could be very, very, very thrilling. Some battles. Can't wait. Can't wait. Kicks off tomorrow. 7 o'clock, UConn will play Notre Dame. And at 5 o'clock, Mississippi State will play Louisville. Winners will move on to Columbus for the national title game on Sunday, April 1st. April Fool's Day, also Easter Sunday, also Women's National Title Day. So get your stuff out of the way early. Get your Easter egg hunt, get church done, get your meal done, get all whatever you're going to do on that day, your pranks, your jokes, your goodbyes, get it all done before the national title game starts on Sunday night. All right, let's jump over to the men's side. We are down with Loyola Chicago, Michigan, Kansas, and Villanova. Now, Loyola Chicago, historically, has great significance in the game of basketball. We know the stories. We know the integration, segregation issues. We know what they did in 1963, winning the title. They have had a great run. They beat Miami in the first round, upset Tennessee in the second round. Got past, and look at the close games they played. Miami, won by 2. Tennessee, won by 1. Go on to face Nevada, win by a point. Go on to face Kansas State. Okay, Kansas State, they put it on them a little bit. The confidence was there. The nerves probably had gotten away all of a sudden for the Loyola Chicago. Put them up, put them down. 16-point win over Kansas State. Move on to face Michigan. Michigan beat Montana, okay. Beat Houston, okay. Beat Texas A&M, okay. And beat Florida State. Michigan got lucky with the amount of upsets that were on their side in the West bracket. They didn't have to face some of the top teams. Xavier didn't make it. UNC didn't make it. They were the 3rd seed. Gonzaga got upset. Ohio State didn't make it in. So out of the top 5 seeds, only Michigan moved forward, and all the others were upset, making it a little easier for Michigan to get there. You go over to the other side, to the east. Villanova, number 1 seed, beat Radford, beat Alabama, beat West Virginia, beat Texas Tech, as expected. Most people that I talked to, and myself included, had Villanova making it to the Final Four. In the Midwest, Kansas, okay, they got past Penn, Seton Hall, Clemson, and the number 2 team, Duke. Pretty good route there for Kansas as well. Played some teams, didn't really get past anybody. Villanova and Kansas, to me, is going to be the better game, for sure. Better players, 2 number 1 seeds. On the other side, you have the 3 seed and the 11 seed, Michigan and Loyola Chicago. But Loyola Chicago, Michigan's got the better story. It's like you're pulling for one of these teams to win. You want to see obviously one of them is going to make the national title game, but you want to see one of them win it. You want to see the team from Michigan that nobody thought had a chance to get there and do it. You want to see the nobody Loyola Chicago team come back and win another national title. Now, Kansas has won 5 national titles with 6 runner-ups. They've been in the title game 11 times. Villanova's won 2. Michigan and Loyola Chicago have each won 1 national title. So I'm taking Kansas to face Loyola Chicago in the national title game. And on the women's side, I'll take UConn to face Mississippi State. Those are my picks. That's how, it's been a fun tournament. It's been one of the crazier tournaments in recent history. I am on record, and we'll stick to this. I'm not wasting my time doing brackets anymore. For whatever reason, it takes the fun out of the tournament for the first couple days because you're just kind of angry. Your picks didn't go right, like it meant something. And this tournament seems like it would have been extremely enjoyable to just sit back and watch all of the upsets and just take in as a fan of basketball. So I'm done with the brackets. I will not be doing any more bracket challenges, any more bracket picks. I'm done with all that. Squash it. I'm done with it. Men's tournament, or Final Four, will kick off Saturday. National title game will be on Monday. It's going to be fun. Tune in. Watch it. The way these tournaments have been going, who knows what's going to happen. And, that's kind of what happens when your playing days are done. You don't know what's going to happen. What's going to be next? What's your next adventure going to be? What's the next job going to be? What's the next path in life? And a lot of guys sit around. They do sportscasting, journalism. They go into construction or some family business or entrepreneurs or philanthropy work. And some of them end up getting a phone call at some point saying, guess what? You've just made the Hall of Fame. You've been voted in as one of the best players to ever play your sport. Currently, basketball, not the NBA, basketball Hall of Fame is in the process of inducting its 2018 class. Now, I'm not exactly sure if there's any more announcements to come or if it's just these 4 names that are getting in this year. Something tells me the way the articles and reports are being led right now, and I didn't have time to check this, my apologies, that there could still be a couple of announcements of names of people who could get in. Now, because this is not the NBA Hall of Fame and this is the Basketball Hall of Fame, we have nominees that are from all walks of basketball. Referees, coaches, NBA, international, women's game, college level, because this is the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not exclusive to just NBA male players. So as of today, it was announced that Grant Hill has made it in, Steve Nash, and Jason Kidd. It's also been announced that Maurice Cheeks, who was a holdover candidate, he has also gotten in. So those are the 4 names that I'm currently aware of that are going in this year. Grant Hill, barring all of those injuries, still had a pretty good career, was still an all-star player. Not an all-time great. Maybe could have been an all-time great without all the ankle issues. Steve Nash, great assist guy, 3-point shooter, 3rd all-time in assists behind John Stockton and Jason Kidd, who also got in this year. Jason Kidd has the 1 title in the pros out of those 3 players. Maurice Cheeks also has a title with the 76ers. Other nominees, male players, Ray Allen, Chauncey Billups, and Richard Hamilton. It seems like actually a lot of the Pistons are on this list of nominees because Ben Wallace is also on here as a holdover. So 3 out of that starting 5 are current nominees for this season. Ray Allen, in my mind, he's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer. Chauncey Billups should be a Hall of Famer. Richard Hamilton, Hall of Very Good, UConn guy, friends with my cousin back in the day when they went to UConn together. Great defender, could run people off like nobody's business. Hall of Fame might be a stretch for me. Female candidates, Becky Hammon, definitely a Hall of Famer. Should have gotten the job at CSU for the men's team, coaching with the San Antonio Spurs right now. Katie Smith, Valerie Still, and Tina Thompson, who I also think is a surefire Hall of Famer. Other holdover candidates, you have Muggsy Bogues, Tim Hardaway, Sidney Moncrief, Jack Sikma, Rudy Tomjanovich, he should be a Hall of Famer, Ben Wallace, and Chris Webber. Ben Wallace and Chris Webber, to me, both Hall of really good, not Hall of Fame. Maybe Chris Webber, with his connection with Michigan and the Fab Five, could get in that way as a total basketball thing, because this is, again, not limited to just NBA. And then you have coaches and referees with the likes of Steve Fisher, Ed Hightower, Bob Huggins, and Willie West, all nominees for the Basketball Hall of Fame this year. Some good names, some great careers, some exciting moments in there. I'm sure there's some fans going, KP, you're a fool, you're an idiot. Please reach out to me. Let me know how stupid I am. Let me know what I've said wrong. Let me know what I've gotten wrong. Let me know. We'll get you on the show. Go to the website, realdealsportstalkwithkp.com. There's 2 ways to reach out to us on there. On the homepage at the bottom, you can reach out to us. You can leave your email if you want me to get back to you. And also on the blog site, on that page, there's a way to reach out there as well. Feel free to hit the text line. Feel free to email. Until next time, enjoy the Final Four. Enjoy your opening day and opening weekend for Major League Baseball. And you know how we do. Just keep it real.
Yeah, they say that talk is cheap, but not with me if you want it first or the cost of feet. I put them seeds in the hearse the way that I torture beats. My vocal cords producing the force to lift you up off your feet. I'm off the leash when I sink my teeth in them seeds to eat. At night I stalk the streets, and the day I lay in the coffin sleep. I'm death walking on 2 feet, make it hard to sleep. The rhythm that need an exorcism, the way your heart to beat. You know we starving, these rap artists is ours to eat. And when you carve the meat, make sure you serve me the largest piece.
Fuck peace, I ain't stopping till they all deceased. Ravage through the underground scene like a savage beast. Nightmare on Elm Street, damn it's been a wild day. Grown man business, you can miss us with the child's play. No time to waste, so I go ahead and make it fast. Covered up my face, blood dripping off the Jason mask. Microphone audio's the Twilight Zone. The Alfred Hitchcock, it is murder mystery hip hop. Chainsaw massacre rappers make it seem effortless. Take all their possessions in seconds, call me the exorcist. Resurrect your soul from the dead, something like Lazarus. Crucify your flesh to a cross, Jesus of Nazareth. Half of these whack rap cats can never spit with me. Craft a paragraph, cause it paranormal activity. Damien had an omen for dancing around with the devil. Rise from the ash like the phoenix and never settle.
Yeah, rest in peace to all the beats that we left deceased. Rest in peace to feeble MCs, but leaving them 6 feet. Your dance moves and your weak rhyming is lunacy. Rest in peace to all that buffoonery, this the eulogy. Rest in peace to all the beats that we left deceased. Rest in peace to feeble MCs, but leaving them 6 feet. Your dance moves and your weak rhyming is lunacy. Rest in peace to all that buffoonery, this the eulogy.
It's either you or me, so I guess this is the eulogy.
Does the power come from? The living among the dead